Okay, this is part one in your video series on active reading. First of all, you are not allowed to show this to anyone else because I am in my pajamas and have no makeup on. So I must love you. This is for your eyes only. I'm not going to make a whole big video because I don't know how easy it will be to transfer. So, first of all, active reading. What is it? It simply means reading something with the determination to understand it. You are evaluating it for its relevance to you. You don't necessarily care about how to build the watch. You just want to know how to tell the time. Simply rereading, reading, and rereading the way you've been doing it is not an effective way to understand and learn. Actively involving yourself, critically engaging with the content is a way that saves you time and helps the information stand out to you. That's what your markers, blue, purple, green, a blue pen, a red colored pencil, whatever your system is going to be, that's how it's going to work for you. There was something else I was going to say, but I just forgot what it was. The system is kind of a make it your own system, so there is no exact way to follow it. I printed off a random page out of your PDF that you sent me. So that's what I'm going to do in the second video, is show you how I would do it. Now here's the trick about active reading. Oh, that's what I was going to say. The reason active reading works for someone like you is because you are 50% visual, 50% kinesthetic, which means that although you are visual and you can obviously pick up on words, you're kinesthetic. Think about football and think about how you say you like to work with your hands, things like that. When you combine the two learning styles of visual plus kinesthetic, you get the best of both worlds. Underlining and highlighting key phrases or words when you read helps you when you return to it later on, that you can easily see the points that jump out at you that you saw as important to you. But be selective when you highlight, because over highlighting doesn't help either. It's the same thing as having too many words in black versus too many words highlighted in green. Making annotations or notes in the margins, like alongside, to summarize points or questions that you think of when you read that part. Jot down an example, make a connection. We teach kids about real-world connections, connecting a book to yourself or to the real world. So if you read something, and I don't know anything about this stuff that you're doing, so if it's something about taking out a loan, and the example they give you or something they say makes you go, oh, I remember when I was 26 and I took out that loan and I got screwed over on interest, make a note, 1990 whatever, something that works for Mary. It's not going to have to work for anybody else because it's not anybody else that has to pass the test. Let's see. Ask questions while you're reading the text. Before you start reading that part, make up some questions. What do I want to know from this? If the subject is mortgages, some questions you could start off with is, what's the best kind of mortgage to have? What's the best interest rate these days? Those kind of questions are going to keep you focused on what you're trying to learn. A good thing to do too is to test yourself. Remember how I told you need frequent breaks. So test yourself by reading for half an hour. And when we say reading, we're actively reading for half an hour. And then stop. Put the text away. And then walk around, do something. And maybe in 10 or 15 minutes, take a piece of paper and jot down 3 or 4 important things you remember from the text. Then, when you go back, read the text again. And you can see, oh wow, I remembered all this stuff, and maybe you can even write down a couple of notes to fill in the gaps of important things you missed. This is also kinesthetic. This is writing. Look for things that will help you understand. Like when people put words like, well, most importantly, or in contrast to, or on the other hand, that's something they're wanting to stand out to you. You can also, like I'm doing, record yourself reading the material or the notes, and then when you are driving to work, you can play it back to yourself. You didn't score so high as auditory, but that doesn't mean that some auditory doesn't help. People used to believe that they could memorize things through osmosis, and they would play a tape of material over and over again with earphones at night while they were sleeping and figured they could learn through osmosis. It was never really proven that it worked, but hey, who knows? So if you recorded yourself reading a page and then wanted to stick it in on your MP3 or whatever and put it in the car on the auxiliary on the way to work and listen to it, that's just giving you extra time to hear the material that you didn't usually have when you were driving. The main thing you need to know, though, is that you are reading for comprehension. So you want to skim through the text really quick before you start reading. Think of some questions, like we said, that are going to help the information stand out to you that you're looking for. Read actively. Remember, test your memory, take a break, jot down some ideas, go back and read it again. And review. You can review by listening to it again or going back and reading the whole thing the next day. I don't know if any of this made sense, and it's a quick little 6-minute tutorial on what active reading is. So the next video will be me doing an actual active reading. So I hope this helps. Don't show it to anybody else or I will kill you.